Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is Young and the Restless edition. Today is Thursday, July the 28th, 2022. And let's get right into this. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to go ahead and give this it was like a 7.5. It was cool. So we start off with Nick and Sally. She tells him, she's talking about Adam and everything, and I'm not gonna hold you long. He says, "Listen, I got a lot of stuff on my mind. I can't deal with this whole thing about you and Adam." And she was like, what's going on?" And he says, "I'm just sitting around waiting for the shoes to drop." And she said, "That sounds very ominous. What's happening?" And he doesn't really get into a lot of details for her or anything, but he just says he's just waiting on everything to come to light, and they'll hear about it tomorrow. And so then um she tells him, I won't be at the office tomorrow because she's quitting. And he's like, "No, you're not." And she said, "What?" And he says, "No, you're not quitting." And she was like, "Why are you gonna quit?" And she said she tells him about overhearing Adam with Sharon and everything. And he says, "Everybody knows he just broke up with you so that you could keep the job." He said, "But that's on him." He was like, "So you're gonna give up your dream job just because of Adam?" And he was like, "No, like, don't be a long line of women who take this toxic relationship with Adam and think it's love." That she was like, he was just like, "If it's really love, then y'all would have been together. So keep your job." He was like, "But do whatever you want to do, but you'd be crazy to give up your job for Adam." And so after that, he has to go because he gets a message from Victor saying meet at the office. And then we see Sally goes to the office and she speaks to Chloe. And Chloe talks Sally off the ledge because she said, "Girl, are we really giving up our job because of Adam?" And she was like, "He loves me." And Sally just tells her, Chloe just tells her, that kind of love is so toxic. That's a toxic love, and you don't need that kind of toxic love in your life. So why in the world would you be doing that? Why would you even say yes to being in a relationship with someone who clearly um, doesn't want to be with you? He's making you chase him down and beg him. And Sally said no. And she said, "Oh my God, that's exactly what I'm doing. He even called me pathetic." And Chloe said, "Exactly." She said, I've seen, I saw Chelsea give up years of her life chasing this man. Don't do it." And so Sally says, "I don't want to believe he didn't love me. I don't want to believe I meant nothing to him." And Chloe just said, "Where's the Sally that I met that wanted to show the world that she was a boss and that she had something to offer, and she was scrappy and she fought and everything?" And so Sally was just like, "You know what? I'm gonna keep this job." And Chloe says, "That's, I know, because that's why you called me over to talk you off the ledge or whatever." So Sally's gonna keep the job and they're gonna work. So then we see Michael and Victor, and Michael is telling Victor that he spoke to the security team, um, and they detailed everything for him. He told them all the information and what to, he gave them as little detail as possible because Victor said the less they know, the better. So they spoke to the security team and everything, and everyone's on board. And then Nick comes in, and Nick is just like, they told him Chance is going to come over and give him more details about they found Ashlyn Carr and everything. And Nick said, "Why are y'all so relaxed?" And they said, "Because like there's nothing to worry about. We know nothing, it's just nothing to worry about." And Nick says, "Do y'all know something that I should know?" And they're like, "Nope, everything's fine." So then we see Nick, Victor, Michael, and Chance. And so Chance comes in and he tells them that they found Ashlyn's car at the bottom of the ravine and he was in there and it looks like he died. So Nick is like, "Do they know how he died? What like did?" And I said, "Okay, so now Victor is gonna cover up with the medical reports. And this is gonna be a big cover up." And so Victor, they said that's something the medical examiner would have to say. And so Nick is like, "Okay." And so then Michael is like just on pins and is it pins and needles or pins and nails? Pins and needles. because he's worried that Victor might say too much, because he said, I'm not letting you talk to Chance. Earlier when Victor told Michael, you can go home, he said, oh no, I'm not letting you talk to Chance without me, and or whatever, without your lawyer present. And so then, Chance starts asking Victor, how are you there? Did Victoria or Nick call you? And he said, no, my security team called and said something was going on. He said, so they didn't come look or search or anything. And he said, no, they saw they saw Nick at the front, then they saw Ashlyn at the back, and then they saw him walk around to the back, and I sent them all home or whatever, because I was coming over. And I said, and they said, okay. And so he was asking Victor a lot of questions. And Victor said, this sounds like an interrogation. And Chance said, no, I'm just trying to get all the answer and information and stuff. But Chance, no, Victor lying. Victor. But anyways, that was pretty much it with them, y'all, as far as all of that goes. So then we see Victor and Michael try to talk to Nick, and they tell him, because he's like, oh my gosh, what if I did something to, to Ashlyn? And they said, no, he wasn't thinking clearly. He just got in that car, and he might have thought he had nothing to live for. They think of all these possibles, and I said, you stop talking. The more you talk, the more suspicious Nick is of y'all or whatever. And that was pretty much it with them, y'all. So then we see Summer and Phyllis. So we see Summer and Phyllis, and they're talking, and Phyllis says she wants to work at Marchetti, and Summer is very suspicious of this. And Summer just keeps bringing up Diane, and Phyllis says, I don't want to talk about Diane. I'm like, how many times does she have to tell you this? Now, we all know why Phyllis wants the job at Marchetti. But at one point she told Summer, like, oh my God, you keep bringing up Diane. I have not brought her up one time. You keep bringing her up. And then Phyllis started talking about how, it'll be so nice to work with you, going to all the fashion shows and everything that they could do. And so then Summer started to warm to the idea of, having Phyllis work for her again. And then Nick comes in, and they see Nick, and they're like, Dad, Summer's like, Dad, what's wrong? And he tells them Ashlyn died. They found his body and everything. And so Summer is just like, okay, well, I need to go and, because this is going to be hard on Harrison. So I need to go and, be prepared to talk to him about this and everything. And they say, yeah. And so then she leaves, because she wants to be able to talk to Harrison. So then we see that Nick stays, and Phyllis says, there's more to the story than that. What's going on? And he said, it's just over like that. He's just shaking up, and it's been a long night and everything. And she said, but there's a bright side. And he said, Phyllis. And she said, well, it is a bright side. You no longer have to deal with Ashlyn. He's out of your life for good. And Nick said, yeah, it seems like that. But it's not, because you, Nick, gave Chance Ashlyn's ring and everything. Because Nick is a good guy for the most part. And if he had killed Ashlyn, like, it was, like, they could have said it was the self-defense. So I don't know why Victor felt the need to go in and cover up the body and everything. Like, what's wrong with you? But anyway, so Chance is looking at their ring, because Chance knows there's more to this than that they're letting on. And that was The Young and the Restless today, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for the last episode of the week. Bye.